Every 4 years, Americans experience a day filled with pomp and tradition as they welcome their new president in a grand ceremony called Inauguration Day. One of the most significant parts of this grand celebration is the location where the magic happens. For over 200 years, the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. has been the backdrop for this important event. But things weren't always that way. George Washington and John Adams were initially inaugurated in Philadelphia. Then, the swearing-in ceremony took place at the Capitol's East Portico, starting with Thomas Jefferson's presidency. Can you imagine his excitement as he stood there, taking the oath inside the still under construction building? In 1981, Ronald Reagan decided to move the ceremony to the west front of the Capitol to accommodate more people. Speaking of the oath, do you know when the new president takes it? Since the passage of the 20th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1933, the magical moment occurs on January 20th at exactly noon Washington time. It is at this precise moment the president-elect places his hand upon a Bible and promises to faithfully execute the office of president. While George Washington started this tradition with a Bible, some presidents choose other meaningful books for their vows. After uttering the simple yet powerful oath of just 35 words, the new president is ready to lead the country. But wait, that's not all. Right after the oath, it's time for the new president to share some important thoughts. This speech is called the Inaugural Address, and it helps set the tone for the upcoming administration. Did you know George Washington gave the shortest speech with only 135 words in 1793? In contrast, poor William Henry Harrison delivered the longest one, over 8,000 words, which might have been tough on him, as he later got sick. After all the words are spoken, it's time to celebrate with a grand tradition called the Inaugural Parade. Presidents greet cheering onlookers as they travel from the Capitol to the White House along Pennsylvania Avenue. The parade tradition started with Thomas Jefferson back in 1805 on horseback, and it's only gotten more exciting since. Some presidents even choose to walk part of the way, like Jimmy Carter did in 1977. Imagine waving at the crowd and seeing the smiling faces of people who are there to support you. And as the day fades into night, the merriment doesn't end. It's time for the grand finale, the Inaugural Ball. Though not required, these glamorous dances offer a delightful way to wrap up the exciting events of the day. It all started with Dolly Madison, who hosted a magnificent party in 1809 to honor her husband, James Madison.